Welcome to The Becks, a podcast that explores multimedia horror with hosts Becky and Sydney. Join us as we talk about movies, books, video games, music, and much, much more.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.
Welcome back. Yeah. Sydney's not wanting to do this.
It's hard to talk about. So, okay.
Before we ever get into anything.
If you are triggered by child sexual assault, you need to back out of this episode right now.
Yeah. Do not listen to anything.
And
and don't watch the movie that we're talking about.
Yeah, don't do that. And I would consider that a spoiler. And that's why it's kind of hard to talk about, because you don't really understand that that's what it's about until the end. So it sucks because, like, we're spoiling it, but if that's a trigger of yours, you should not be watching this movie.
No, you shouldn't. Because it's, pretty graphic. So
yeah, this week we're talking about Possum, which is a 2018 film out of England. The director also wrote it. His name was Matthew Holness, and it's actually an adaptation from a short story that he wrote and published in an anthology book.
Which I'm interested about the anthology book. I think that will be neat to look up. It's titled The New Uncanny, Tales of Unease. And this story being featured in that, unease is mild. But we'll get to that too.
So I would like to start with the nursery rhyme.
It's so creepy. So let's delve into a little bit of how we ended up with this movie.
Oh, yeah.
So Sydney wants to do a book, and I'm listening to the book, and I just didn't have time to finish it. I still have quite a ways to go, and I'm hopefully going to have it done by next week, because we have to record probably 2 episodes because I'll be gone the following week. So I have to get the book done, and she looked at me and said, well, what are we going to talk about? And so I just looked up creepy, weird horror movies on Tubi, so that I knew we could both watch it, would both be free. It didn't matter what platform, because we both, can look up Tubi. So this came up as a psychological horror movie about a puppeteer who had been shamed and had to go home to his parents' house, okay? So I showed her, and she's like, okay, let's do it. Hour and 25 minutes. Yeah. How bad can it be?
Perfect length for a horror film.
Yeah. So we decided to do it. So that's how we ended up here. And let's talk about the nursery rhyme.
Mother, father, what's afoot? Only Possum, black as soot. Mother, father, where to tread? Far from Possum and his head. Here's a bag, now what's inside? Does he seek or does he hide? Can you spy him deep within? Little Possum, black as sin. Bag is open, growing wider. What's inside it, man or spider? Little boy, don't lose your way. Possum wants to come and play. Look at Possum, there he lies. Children meet his lifeless eyes. See his nasty legs and tongue. When he wakens, watch him run. Wait a while, my little child, for what is playing dead? Possum, with his black balloons, will eat you up in bed. Happy Valley, painted black, all the children in a sack. Wave goodbye to sun and moon, say hello to black balloon. The parcel opened, out it sprang, the black, long-legged possum man. Children run, he'll eat and smother, any child without a mother.
So this starts out the movie. You're hearing parts of it, and you hear it throughout the entire movie. Just different parts come out. It gets longer. You're getting little bits and pieces. And at the end, it just throws you into like, oh my God. Yep. All of it makes sense. and it's devastating and sickening, and this is definitely a movie.
So so he goes back home, like Becky said, because he was disgraced, like a scandal happened. And the movie doesn't say exactly what the scandal was, just that it was a big scene. And Philip, the main character, tells Morris, who lives in his house, like, they'll get over it.
Yeah.
They'll take me back.
And when he goes into the house looks dilapidated. Like no one's ever taken care of it. He looks for Morris when he first goes in. Like the first day he's there, no one answers. He goes up to this door and then turns away from it and doesn't go in. Mm-hmm. And so you don't really know that there's anybody else there. He calls for Morris, but he's not there. He doesn't show up until like a day later.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird dynamic, too. He's very uncomfortable around Morris, but he's very uncomfortable, I think, in his own skin anyways.
Yeah, in general, this man he seems very awkward.
Socially challenged, probably.
Yes.
There's something going on.
So one of the opening scenes is him on a train, and he's staring at these boys, these, like, school-aged, like, middle school, 14-year-old boys. Mm-hmm. He's staring at them roughhousing, and one of them's drawing a picture. And when they get off when the train stops and they all get off in Yorkshire, he goes up to one of the boys, the one that was drawing, and is like, "What did you draw?" And the boy is super spooked. Mm-hmm. And he runs off with his friends.
Yeah. And you can hear the boys talking about someone's missing.
Yes.
And he's kind of listening, and they're like, yeah, no, he was supposed to go home, and he didn't show up, and, oh, no, he was here, and kind of talked about where he'd last been seen, and so, yeah, just, something's going on.
So, immediately to me, and I can't tell you why, and I don't know why I have a radar for this, but I immediately knew this movie was about child sexual abuse.
Oh, we did too. We knew someone had done something to him. But getting to who actually did it was kind of like a maze because of the way it led. Like at first it was, you found out that he had been horribly teased in school. Mm-hmm. So then was he assaulted by his classmates? Another
boy. Yeah.
Then you find out that his mother's dead and she was killed in a fire. And then it's like, well, and he's acting very strangely. You just don't know. So you think, well, did he kill his mother? Was she the one molesting him? I mean, there was a lot of routes that we were going down because I watched it with my son and his best friend, Omen. And so we were just throwing out different theories as we were going. I mean, we clearly knew that he had been extremely traumatized by, obviously, someone did something horrible to him.
Which is weird because nothing in the movie is... Okay, I take that back. Almost everything in the movie, like nothing in the movie is overtly sexual. Except for two parts. Mm-hmm. The ending. And then I would argue when he takes the bag into the woods, the trees.
Yeah.
I really thought the way that they were positioned, that made me so uncomfortable. Because it looked like legs.
Mm-hmm. No, it 100% did look like legs.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
And there was one part with the puppet. Okay, so Possum is the puppet. Okay, is what you're thinking, is what you're seeing. Okay, he has this puppet, and you don't see it for quite a while at first.
Yeah, it's like half the movie, probably. You don't see it. You see bits of it.
Yeah, and, Morris says things about it. Like, he's like, you showed that to children? And it's this spider with these spindly legs with hairs all over them. But the head of the body of the spider is like a human head. It's like a mask. But it looks like a human head, like a skull with no features.
It's like a mannequin head, kind of, for like a mask.
The one part where he pulled it out when he was out by the water and he got really close to it and he looked like he was going to kiss it and then he threw it.
Yeah.
That was kind of, you were getting kind of a, okay, this is weird. Something's something weird there. And it kept crawling into bed with him.
It
Like,
did.
he would try to get rid of it, and he would wake up, and it would be next to him.
So, yeah, so kind of basically his journey in this movie is you get the impression that he came home to dispose of this puppet.
Yeah, he even says he's going to in his own time.
Yeah, and he goes to different spots that have obviously significance to him, and he tries to dispose of them there each time. Now, to me, because of what's revealed later, I was like, okay, these are spots that I think he was probably molested in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and the puppet is...
Yeah, there's one spot where there's water and a bridge, and he throws it over the bridge in the bag. It's always in the bag. And he literally falls down and sobs and can't get up, and it's...
And he looks for it.
He looks for it. So you can see that he's got this horrible reaction to certain places, to certain things, there's just something clearly wrong with this poor man. And the first thing I said when I first saw him was, he's so sad. Like, he's perpetually sad. Look at his face. There's no happy emotion there at all. And Omen and Keegan were like, yep, you're right. And so it was just kind of weird. But I also did notice, too, that the mannequin face, when he was holding it up, almost looked like his face. If you won't watch it again, I won't watch it again. But if you were to watch it, when he was holding it really close, they looked like it was a mirror image. Which makes sense.
Well, he sees it one time, and instead of his reflection, he sees it. He sees the possum, the puppet.
Yeah. So he goes to his old school, and the principal there kicks him off the ground. So he's like, it was my school. I mean, it's like he's reaching for good memories. And they send him away, and then he runs into other men, and they call him a pervert. And so you're like, what the hell is going on? You know, there's just a lot of, they don't give you a lot of information. It's kind of, they do, but they don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not in your face until the very end, and then everything's really horribly.
So one of the first times that he goes and he talks to Morris, they share a cup of tea, and Philip immediately spits it out, and Morris says, well, no, nothing from the jar for you then, or something along those lines. And you look in this cabinet, and there's this jar of candy.
Yeah, it looks like gumballs or jawbreakers or something.
And then the next day, something happens, and Morris asks Philip again if he wants something from the jar, and Phil says, what's in them? Which is a weird fucking question to ask.
Yeah.
And Morris says the usual, or something like that.
Same as always.
Same as always, yeah. And Phil's like, no then.
Yeah, no. So then you're like, what is in them? And of course we're sitting there the whole time, and we're like, what does he do with those? What is going on?
So that's one of the things too, is like, you see Philip interact with people several times. The only person you ever see interact with Morris, though, is Philip.
Yes.
So it kind of gets to a point in the movie where you're like, okay, this home seriously looks completely abandoned. It's in disrepair, like whatever. Is Morris even there?
Yeah, we questioned that too. That's what I said. I'm like, is Morris real? Or is this something that Philip has made up in his mind because he's mentally ill? And you just don't know. You know, even the police show up knocking on the door, and then you see like windows are boarded up, and then you're like even more confused because and they're shining their lights through the boards of the window, you know, and he's just hiding. Philip was hiding. But then Morris the next day is like, oh, we saw you, you know, the police were here looking for you. I told them you left. You weren't in. Weird.
I don't think Morris ever talked to the police.
I don't think so either. I think Morris...
Well,
I know that Morris
several
was a manipulator.
times, Morris just says things to Philip to fucking torment him. Like the Fox story.
Yeah, tell me again.
And
Horrible.
it's obvious that there's, like, some kind of power imbalance between the two. Because at first you think Morris is his stepfather. That's actually what, erroneously,
Was on the internet.
the internet says. Morris is not his stepfather, he's his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, isn't technically revealed towards the end. So it's a logical leap, I would say, to make that he's the stepfather.
Yeah, at one point Philip looks at him and said, "You are not my father."
Yeah.
So you immediately think, oh, it's the stepdad. And we had read that it was.
Yeah.
With the synopsis of the movie, but
Which,
nope.
That's the other thing I want to mention is there's... Okay, let's talk a little bit about the... I don't know how to bring this
We're
up.
kind of all over the place with this. This is a very hard movie to talk about.
Yeah. So, puppeteers. Right? They stick their hand in things and make them do things, right?
Yep, they do.
At one point, Morris says that one of the only things Philip was ever good at was puppeteering.
Mm-hmm.
And that it runs in the family.
And he said, "But you're not related to me." Because he said, "I learned from my father." Morris says, "I learned from my father."
And Philip says, "But you're not my father."
Exactly.
He doesn't say we're not related. He says, "You're not my father."
Yeah. So, Morris, remember this. Morris says, "I learned from my father, and then I taught you."
Yes. Ick.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, this is what happened. I was about 20 minutes ahead from watching the movie. We were watching it in separate spaces. We each just went home. I know it's shocking that we don't live together.
Someday, when we're old, she'll be taking care of me because she's the young one.
So, yep, I'll be wheeling her in the recording studio. Like, what are we talking about again? Anyway.
Yeah.
So, I was 20 minutes behind her, so I finished before her, and I just texted Becky in all caps.
I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, thumbs up or thumbs down? Question mark.
And I was like, the ending is super disturbing. I have to go take a shower. And that's exactly what I fucking did. So, this movie is not for the faint of heart. This is just...
I'm going to say this movie was very well done, I think.
Yes.
The cinematography was great. The ambiance, the music. It was creepy. It kept you engaged. There wasn't a lot of conversation. Little bits. There were things going on always. It was very well done. It is not a movie I ever want to experience again. It is traumatic and heartbreaking and disgusting, and it makes me want to go hurt somebody.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
So, it's revealed that the little kid at the beginning, the boy on the train, he's missing.
Mm-hmm.
And Philip has been going around to, like, an abandoned military base or, like, barracks. And he's been...
At the school.
Yeah. So he's kind of been acting suspiciously. And...
People have seen him.
Yeah. And he's talked to him. Like, he was sitting in the playground. Which, I will say, when he's sitting on the swings in the playground, if it weren't for the fact that... The actor who plays him is incredible, because if it weren't for the fact that he was smoking a cigarette, I would have been like, that's not a man. That's a little boy right now.
Yeah.
So he left as soon as he saw that the two moms were staring at him. There weren't kids in the playground. He was by himself. But then later on, when he was staring at the school, I kind of got the same impression that it was a little boy. It wasn't a grown man. Mm-hmm. And then he has a complete breakdown later on in the movie, and there's age regression that happens. He talks to the secretary and says, I need to talk to Mr. Grant. He knows everything that happened.
He'll help me. He said he'd help me. He said he'd help me go to them. And she's like, to who? And he said the police, to tell them what happened.
Yeah.
It's horrible and it's heart-wrenching. And yes, that actor, he is amazing.
Yeah, let me look and see who it is. Sean Harris.
He's very good.
Yeah, super good. So he does several times try to get rid of this puppet, and he never is able to. For, like, however it happens, it always makes its way back to him.
He even puts it in a burn barrel.
Yeah.
And burns it. And it still finds its way back to him.
Which, when he burns it, I was like, oh, like, if this takes care of it, at that point, I would have been, like, more inclined to believe that his parents had something to do with his abuse because they died in a fire.
Yes. And Morris brings that up. He says, you know, he keeps saying, are you going to go in there? And you deduce that the room that he won't go in is his mother's room, his parents' room.
Yeah.
Because he's just...
Specifically his
avoiding.
mom's. Because
yes,
you
specifically his mom. You never hear about his dad. So you think... I guess I thought his dad was absent. Okay?
Or Morris.
Or, yeah. So Morris starts talking about how... Well, didn't this happen once before? You know, there's a boy missing. And he's like, didn't that happen right after the fire? And so you're kind of leaning towards... He's like, it was your school, wasn't it? And Philip just keeps looking at him, but Morris won't leave it alone. And he talks about the Fox story where Philip was with a bunch of boys and there was a fox that was dying. They thought it was... So they started kicking it and torturing it and stabbing it. And Philip said they made him pick it up. And it was very traumatizing to him. And he said then the fox just got up, looked him straight in the eye, and walked away. Mm-hmm. And Morris brings up, he said, you know, we taught those boys a lesson when the teacher had me come in and teach them, right? Remember, I came in and taught you at school that time, remember? And we terrified those boys. You remember the look on their face? They were terrified.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was super weird. And that's when he was burning the puppet. And even there was a couple times where Morris was like, I need a demonstration. You need to demonstrate to me. Talking about...
he was talking about how he wanted to see how the legs worked.
Yeah. And he was a creepy, dirty old man, okay? Like, he looked like he never showered, and his teeth were bad, and he smoked a lot, and he just was a creepy old man, okay? And he was not very nice to Philip. He wasn't aggressively mean, but he did everything he could to belittle Philip.
Yeah, and important to note, Philip did stand up to him.
Yes.
He called him out on his shit a few times. He said
Yep.
some nasty things back to him. So
Yep.
he's able to hold his own sometimes. And each time he would say something or do something like that, Morris would be like, oh, you're all grown up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so even if you didn't get the CSA stuff from any of their interactions, which I don't think there was anything overtly sexual with the way Morris and Philip interacted with each other, like, for the whole, like, first 3/4 of the movie, you know that Morris was abusive to him somehow. Whether it was physically or, like, emotionally, verbally, whatever.
Yeah, it kind of made it feel like he just never thought Philip was good enough. Like he could never do anything good enough.
Yeah.
You know, like by saying, oh, the only thing you did good was being a puppeteer. You know, that's the only thing you were good at. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the weirdest part of this movie, and I think it was the part that threw me for the biggest loop, and this is, I think, actually the only part of the movie that didn't really happen the way that, like, narratively and structurally the movie said that it did, was it's when they're at the burn barrel and Morris says he's talking about how it happened once when he was a kid and how there was a case of a boy being assaulted by a masked man. And Philip starts crying. And Maurice comforts him and gives him a candy that he immediately, like, throws up. I'm not convinced that happened. Like, I don't think that really happened because Morris seemed... Two things. He didn't seem like the type of person to ever apologize for anything, which he did apologize.
He did. He said, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yes.
More than once he said that.
And it was very sincere. Like, the delivery and everything like that.
Yeah.
And, like, the Philip accepting the candy.
Yeah.
That was also weird. Like, it just, like, raised some flags. And so I'm not... Like, I think that's the turning point in the movie where Philip started, regressing in his age, like, more consistently.
I wonder, though, too, because your abusers have to pull you back in at times. If they see you really walking away and pulling away and that you're not going to allow what is going on to happen again, well, then they reach out and they give you that little softness. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Suck you right back into the abyss of the abuse. So it could have maybe not happened, or he could have just played the part. As gross and horrible that someone that can be that kind of a person can do that, but they do all the time.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Ugh.
That same night, Morris says that he's going to be going away. And that he needs to lay low. Philip needs to lay low and not bring any trouble to the house.
Yeah, you don't bring trouble home.
Yeah. And...
Because apparently the police were there and had talked to Morris asking about Philip. Because Philip was acting strange.
There's kind of this weird dream sequence that happens. It's right after he runs away from the school. Because the secretary and the principal of the school are like, this guy's crazy, we're calling the cops. And he overhears that, so he runs away. And Possum starts chasing him. It, like, becomes this thing that he can't, like, is actively hunting him, which it wasn't before. It was just hanging around, right?
Yeah.
And so at this point it changes it and it is chasing him and it's really fucking creepy. Like this whole sequence, I was like, what the fuck? There's this scene where he's in, I can't remember if it was in the barracks or where he was, but it's just, so the spidery legs that it has are very dark and then the actual mask is kind of light. It's like a whitewash. So he's in this dark building and you just see the mask like peek around a corner, a doorway.
Yeah.
And that happens a couple of times and each time it's fucking effective and creepy as fuck, dude.
It is. It's horrible. It's horrible. The bed scene too, where it, like, the eyes turn really green and then it comes at him is... No, the whole possum thing, the puppet, is horrible.
Yeah. Which, once they revealed what it fully looked like, because for a while it's kind of like, oh, you see a leg here, or you see this here. You know? It's very coy with it at first. And so once it was revealed, I'm like, I mean, it's still creepy. But I was just like, interesting that they revealed it, because I thought it kind of neutered the fear of it a little bit, and then I was proven wrong. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
100%.
Like sometimes they reveal it, and you're like, oh, like I could get used to this, you know, in a way. But then it transforms a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It just gets worse as you go.
He gets overwhelmed by these visions, passes out, and then that's when he starts hallucinating that he is Possum. Yeah. Which, a few times he hears on the radio or on the TV that, you know, the boy is missing, it's someone matching Philip's description.
Has been seen acting strange.
Seen acting strange. Seen
these
with
different
the boy.
areas with the boy he was seen. Yes.
With all these places that he is frequenting, and I think he starts to fear that he did something to the boy. Mm-hmm. I knew pretty quickly on in the movie that he was innocent of anything. I was like, I don't believe, like, I know what the movie's trying to
Oh, yeah, they were
say.
trying to make it that Philip was the perpetrator of whatever was going on. The boy missing, the...
Well, and that's not to say that abused people don't sometimes become the abuser. That does happen. But there was just something about the actor's, I don't know if it was his general demeanor. I don't know if it was, like... I don't really know, but I was like, I'm not buying it. Like, until the movie, like, completely fucking tells me, like, oh, he's the one that took the boy and he's the one doing it. Like, I'm not buying it. I didn't know what was going on, to be fair, because we've talked about this before, how, like, kids sometimes turn real things that happen into monsters or, like, whatever.
To survive.
Yes. So that's clearly what Philip did with this puppet.
Yes. And Philip also wrote the whole nursery rhyme. That was his nursery rhyme. He actually drew illustrations in a book that he hid underneath his floorboards in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And we see that a couple times throughout the movie. And then when Morris says he's leaving, he actually shows Philip that he found the book and starts reading from it and taunting him and harassing him about it. And he's like, oh, it turns out you were a very good little artist. And he's like, I didn't know you wrote. Just creep. Just an asshole.
Yeah. That whole scene was really, really icky. Mm-hmm. Because it was private. It was like a diary, kind of.
Yeah. I think that at the time was part of his therapy for himself to try and deal with what was happening.
Well, and the thing is, too, like, what kind of fucking terrible shit would a kid have to have gone through to write something that dark?
Yeah.
Really messed up.
Mm-hmm. And so he created this possum that looked like a monster with 8 legs.
So, kind of like branching off the idea that, you know, kids create monsters, whatever. I think also terrible people who don't want to accept that they're terrible can make up stuff.
Oh, for sure.
For example, like we just recently talked about The Secret Window.
Mm-hmm.
He made up a lot of weird shit.
He sure did.
To try to cope with his crazy.
With him being a monster?
And there's actually a really... Okay, did you ever read / watch A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes?
Mm-mm.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well...
I haven't.
I can't spoil it for you.
It's okay.
Okay, so there's this very popular theory that at the end, Snow kills Lucy Gray. And that when he disposes of the guns, he's not really disposing of the guns, he's disposing of her body. Because he dumps them in the lake.
Ah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's never been confirmed. Kind of the end is very ambiguous of whether or not she survives. I 100% don't think that she survived. I don't know if Snow killed her. I don't know. But I don't think she survived. But a lot of people are like, oh, you know, the author goes out of her way to talk about how he's very distraught and crazy at the end when that whole thing happens. And he dumps the guns. It's like, oh, he's dumping her body. So when he was originally getting rid of the possum puppet, I was like, oh, is he getting rid of bodies?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, like it's not actually, the puppet isn't really there, it's just bodies.
Especially when he was talking to Morris and he said, well, they're coming looking. And he said, but we got rid of it. We burned it. And I was like, oh, they burned the boy's body. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was like, oh no. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. Because I really didn't think Philip was a horrible person. I thought he just got sucked into a horrible situation.
Like, so abused that he became a part of the abuse, but not as, like, a willing participant, as, like, a traumatized
But only
one.
because, yeah, he felt if he didn't, he would be killed, or he would be the one being killed, hurt, like that. So, yeah.
And that's another thing is, like, what was the possum puppet ever really there? Because Maurice does talk about it, but he never, like, he never takes the puppet or, like, holds the puppet. Morris doesn't.
No.
It's implied that he looks in the bag that Philip is carrying around. But Morris, I don't think, ever interacts physically with the puppet.
Mm-mm.
So...
No, even when Philip was putting it in the burn barrel...
No, he just gave him a shovel.
You just see him hand him the shovel. He didn't even help shove it in there or anything.
So when Philip is like, we burned the puppet, we burned it, it's gone, and Morris is like, I think you're confused. Like, you look sick. Maybe you should lay down for a while. So the climax of this movie, which we're not going to get very deep into because I cannot physically talk about it.
No, we're not going to do the option of what happened.
But he thinks that Morris is gone because he said that he wasn't gonna be around.
Yeah, he was leaving.
Yeah. So Philip finally opens that closed door. And it's a part of the house that's in even more serious disrepair. Doesn't look super burnt up, I didn't think.
I didn't think so either, but you could tell there was a fire. There was like soot on the walls.
Yeah. And the bed board, like the back headboard of the bed is still there, but there's just like sheets.
Yeah. And there was one point in the movie where Philip looked at Morris and said, why couldn't it have been you? Why didn't you die?
Why didn't you burn up?
Why didn't you burn up? And Morris just laughs, this creepy, diabolical kind of laugh.
Like sick, coffee, phlegmy, disgusting ass laugh. Like the worst you've ever heard.
So Philip's in the room, and like Sydney said, there's like bedding on the floor.
Yeah, and he sees the bag, and he goes to look in the bag, and that's when he's attacked. Like there was somebody wearing a mask.
First he picked up a jar full of teeth.
Oh yeah, there were teeth. I forgot.
There was a jar full of teeth, and he kind of holds it up to the light, like from the window, and that's when this man runs at him and attacks him.
Yeah. Somebody in a mask.
It's like the only jump scare in the movie. The only thing that really scares you. I mean, well, the rest is terrifying, but yeah, somebody in a mask attacks him.
And the guy takes his mask off, and it's Morris. And some bad things happen. I will say it doesn't get, like, it's not... So this is the thing, is I feel like this scene is incredibly graphic, but it's not in the way that you think. Like, I don't even know how to talk about this. It's not like, you know how there are, like, rape scenes in movies that are, like, very, like, sexually violent? Like, this scene isn't the same caliber as that, but I feel like it's just as disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't see any sex parts or anything, but it's
implied that there's assault happening.
Yeah, and it's super horrible. And so Philip is struggling. He's obviously repressed again, and the only thing that breaks him out of it is he hears like a whimper
out of the box across the room.
Yeah, there's like a chest.
Yeah,
and then he starts fighting back, and he ends up breaking Morris's neck.
Yeah. And the whole time Morris says things to him about how you knew it was me all along and you didn't tell. And just, you're a dirty boy. And just horrible.
Yeah, he says some really nasty,
horrible, nasty
shit.
things. And Philip is sobbing like a child.
Yeah.
He's begging, please no. And he finally overpowers him because, yeah, like Sydney said, he hears the whimper come from the chest across the room.
Yeah.
And he breaks his neck.
Yeah.
And then he promptly walks over and opens the chest, and out climbs the young man that had been kidnapped.
The young boy.
Yeah. 14 years old, didn't they say? He was
Yeah, 14, yep. And the kid is freaked out. He runs away. And then it eventually cuts to Philip sitting outside of the house with just the puppet's severed head on his lap.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely... Yeah, it's a rough one.
So this is the thing is, like, I was telling Becky this morning, I'm like, this is hard because I did like this movie. I thought it was a good, effective horror movie.
For sure.
But that being said, never watching it ever again. I can't, like, in good conscience recommend this movie to people.
No, me either. I'm not like, hey, go watch that movie. It's a great movie. No. No, all I can say is we watched it. It was extremely disturbing.
I did warn you. I was like, dude, the ending is so fucking
I was
disturbing.
too far in. I couldn't, 20 minutes out from the end.
I know, but
we couldn't stop. I literally, Omen and Keegan both sat up, like, prepared themselves for it. And
they locked in.
All three of us were like, oh. And then it was just dead silence when it ended. And Keegan looked at me, he goes, I loved how the kid just got out of the chest and ran.
Yeah.
It was like he didn't ask any questions. He didn't look. He just ran. I'm like, well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, goodness. Yeah. There's just...
When you read the description, this is the thing that kind of pisses me off about the description. I'm like, Google, like when you just look it up, it's just like, you think it's going to be a movie about like a haunted puppet. And maybe the haunted puppet is symbolic of like something that happened that was traumatic, which technically is all true, but like not.
I never expected it to be about child abuse, molestation.
Yeah.
Nope. It was a rough one.
Yeah. So
again, don't trust Google descriptions because apparently they're wrong. It was a psychological horror movie.
That is true.
It was very well done. It was awful.
I would say the puppet does haunt him, but
yeah.
Not because of the supernatural.
And this is a haunting movie that I think I will carry with me. Like, there will be times that I will think back to this movie if something comes up and it will disturb me forever.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, this is a topic that's horrifying in every aspect of the word. So.
Interestingly enough, this has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, but only a 5.8 on IMDb out of 10. And Prime Video.
Huh. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not like a huge budget film, obviously. And it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. The 88% is justified because it was very well handled. It was very well shot. It was everything they set out to do in this film, they did. So I give them, a high percentage. But, I can't recommend it because, and maybe that's why people aren't recommending it and saying great movie because it's rough. It's not something I say I could enjoy. Okay? So, oh no, what?
Okay, so I don't know how or why or when. Dude, okay, hang on. Just give me 1 second.
She's scrolling the internet, people.
This is gonna blow your fucking mind.
What?
Okay, so I was looking on the MDB page. Okay, and you remember, cast your mind back when I was like, hey, Becky, there's this weird British TV show that we should talk about called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Yeah.
The same motherfucker who wrote and played in that show wrote this fucking movie.
Seriously.
It is Garth motherfucking meringue.
Oh. Wow. Look at that. That makes a lot more sense now.
Does it? I don't know if it does.
But that's a funny thing. A funny satire, strange and weird. This is dark and horrible.
Because I just was like, I scrolled through and I'm like, I recognize that motherfucker. I think that's Garth Marenghi. So I had to look.
Yeah.
Okay, that just blew my fucking pants off. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And just so you know that his original story and the adaptation was partially based upon the theories of the uncanny by psychologist none other than Sigmund Freud. So that, yeah.
Nice try. Nothing will make me consume anything written by Sigmund Freud.
Oh, I don't.
I had to in psychology class.
Yeah, we all did in psychology class.
God damn it, Sigmund Freud.
I don't even know what to say.
Do you ever think about how weird Sigmund Freud was? Not just as, like, a person, but, like, as an academic. Like, imagine being in a field where you have the weird, dude who's like, I have fantasies about fucking my mom, and I'm gonna make it to where actually everyone wants to fuck their mom subconsciously, so I'm not the weird one.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, according to Wikipedia, Wholeness said that their professor had asked them to read Sigmund Freud. According to Wholeness, the New Uncanny's publishers had all the writers read Freud's theory of the uncanny. The publishers then told the writers to choose a fear that intrigued them and write a story in modern language. Wholeness ended up choosing two, a fear of doppelgangers and a fear of ventriloquist dummies. Combining the two fears to avoid being cliched, after the story's publication, Wholeness soon forgot about the idea until he had begun working on developing a possible horror film.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how do you go from those two fears to child molestation and rape? Strange.
I mean, if you watch the movie...
Well, yeah. I understand. Like that. Okay. So anyway, that's Possum. Weird, and it's disturbing, and it's...
Yeah. It's really uncomfortable. It's one of those horror movies where it's like, it's not a fun watch. Like, you don't have fun watching it.
Sydney said, when I'm like, we're about 20 minutes out from finishing it, and she's like, I would say have fun, but it's not that kind of film.
It really isn't.
It's like, by then I knew it wasn't that kind of film, so that wasn't a shocker. I had to finish it, though, so we could talk about it, but...
I actually, this is one of those movies, there's not a lot of movies that I've seen where I've been like... I absolutely never want to watch that again. But I liked it at the same time, first of all. And B, this is one of the most disturbing movies I think I've ever seen. Because, when we did Hereditary, I was like, oh, I never wanted to watch this movie again. And I still stand by that. I stand 10 toes down on that. But this movie, I feel, is way more disturbing than Hereditary, which is crazy.
And the worst part is, okay, there's a lot of weird things leading up, but it's that final scene where it takes the horrible turn that makes you never want to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's vicious, and there's just no description for it. It's something that I never want to think about.
So if there is ever a time where you're like, ooh, trigger warnings, like if there's ever a time when you should take trigger warning seriously, this is one of the movies where, like, yes, you should absolutely fucking take the trigger warning seriously. And I was talking to James about it, and I'm like, I'm glad I have a radar, because if I wasn't expecting CSA at the point where it was, like, proven that that's what it was, I think I would have been a lot more fucked up about it.
Yeah.
Because it was just, ooh, yeah, not good.
No. It's awful.
So, yeah, not such a fun episode this time.
No. No. That's what we get for listening to Google thinking, oh, this should be a fun little film to do. No.
Just, haunted
Absolutely
puppet,
not.
fucking,
Yeah.
adult goosebumps.
Not at all.
No.
No. Bad.
So, coming soon, we'll be doing an episode about The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. That's the book that Becky's listening to and I'm rereading. I've read it like 6 times. It's one of my favorite books. So, we're going to be doing that. And then we have other stuff planned, so.
And our 100th episode, I just figured out, will be airing on October 1st.
Yes.
So something big's coming.
Yeah, we're going to.
Go ahead.
We're going to do something special.
Spooky season starts. So,
Yeah.
It's going to be special. And we're kicking off the spooky season in the right way. So stay tuned.
Today, the pod, tomorrow, the world. My name is Sydney Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Snow.
And we're the Becks.